And I'd like to take a moment to welcome everyone to Green Oaks, your new home. We are going to be playing an RPG game called Green Oaks tonight as we're doing this. This is a role playing game by Roberto de Luca. And fun little thing I'll tell all you players. The booklet for the PDF booklet for this, which is what you can download, you can go to OneDrive or Drive Through RPG or any of those little indie RPG sites to download it. But when I printed it at this little printer around the corner from me and had them spiral bound it and stuff. And when I came in, the guy was like looking at it like, "Oh wow, this looks interesting." Like, but I could tell he thought it was an actual brochure for a retirement community. He's like, "Oh, this place looks nice." So well designed. So good job on the design, I can say to Roberto de Luca, if you're listening, friend of the show, I hope by this point. But anyway, so we're all going to be playing in this environment as senior citizens having a wonderfully supernatural adventure. So I'll get into a little bit more of the game, but first, let's meet everybody, shall we? I'm Dwight. Everybody out there knows me, hopefully, unless this is your first time, in which case this is a very strange episode for you to start on, but still, it'll be a fun one as well. So I'm Dwight. I'm the host creator of the show, and as well as this sort of sub genre of the show where we're talking about how RPGs can be used for fun and also for personal growth, improvement, and such. So welcome, and let's go around, shall we? First of all, I will have everybody introduce themselves. Izzie, do you want to tell everybody who you are and mention your podcasts too, if you would?
Oh, yeah. Hello, my name is Izzie Tehran. I am with the Rabbit Hole Podcast Network, and I do the podcast. I'm a co-host on the podcast Hearthing Around, as well as the main host of That's Bodacious, Dude, 80 Radical Movies from the 80s.
All right. And then let's see. I was going to say, let's just go around, but I don't know what order everybody is on their own screen. So why don't we, Jamie, do you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Jamie. I have no podcasts. I have very little social media presence, but I do work in research, mostly oncology. I'm a mentor and a subject matter expert in that, and I do find I'm also a dungeon master for my own 3.5 D&D campaign.
And I get to read, she shares those notes with me after the game. And it sounds like you've been doing some really cool things.
It's been fun. It's been a riot, that's for sure.
I've been trying to get you to use some of my dumb puns in the
You've
magical
been
items
they've
that
been
you...
used.
Oh. And yeah, Tamari.
I have no podcast as well, but I do really enjoy Jamie's game. I'm kind of new to the whole D&D world, and it's been a very nice outlet for every third week or so, second or third week, to just take on a character that is completely not me. Since Jamie's known me for so long, she knows very not me, but it's just a nice kind of a release.
Tamari plays against character, and she does an amazing job.
This
I
is
blow
one...
things up.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Hopefully we can get into some blowing up here in this adventure as well. You know, with that's one of the things I like about the format of using the role playing, and I've been using it with some groups, both processing groups and social skill groups and things, is people can create either new persona, or they can work through some of their own feelings and thoughts of themselves, or a little bit of both. And I find that even when you're just doing this for fun, there's some benefits that way, if that makes sense. And if you're doing it for self-improvement or bonding, like I talk about on some of the other episodes, then having it be fun is actually the best way to do that too. They've done studies that show that educational or therapeutic games that are designed to be educational and therapeutic are not as effective at learning things as normal games are, because they're not as fun, and your brain won't click into things that aren't fun, particularly those of us with maybe a little ADHD flavor to the neurospiciness of our brain. So there we go. That's a little tidbit factoid for everyone there that you didn't ask for when you logged onto this call. All right. Well, why don't we get into this? One of the things that went into the selection of this game, other than it looked really cool, is something I've been thinking about lately. I've been recording several interviews with people, some filmmakers and some researchers, talking about aging, family dynamics with aging, and basically, we're all going to get there, isn't it? I mean, that aging is well, I mean, I hope, right? We all hope that we're going to get there to old age, and that is an adventure that all of us are going to be on. So I thought this would be an interesting thing to step into. So, in the world of Green Oaks, let's read a little bit about this retirement community. Welcome to Green Oaks. Indulge in a variety of recreational activities, cultivate new friendships, and rely upon our hyper-qualified personnel. Green Oaks is a beautiful structure surrounded by nature, where those who have reached the winter of their lives can indulge in a variety of recreational activities, cultivate new friendships, and rely upon the expertise of nursing personnel of the highest order. Any resemblance to actual events, locations, or persons living or dead is entirely coincidental. Or, if not coincidental, it's because you guys chose characters that were like you. All right. The brochure does point out, by the way, when you're coming into Green Oaks, you should be aware of the rumors out there that claim that great treasures are hidden away in the basement of Green Oaks, while others believe the entire structure is nothing less than an alien base for conducting experiments on seniors. The local youths whisper that the structure was built atop an old Native American cemetery, and some go so far as to say that it is in fact the maw of hell itself. One of those claims is probably more problematic socially than the others. But anyway, watching our guests entertain themselves with gardening or mazurka classes or Zumba or whatever might make one think that their lives were always this peaceful. In reality, as is often the case with many elderly people, a quick chat will reveal that their youth was riddled with experiences beyond our wildest imaginations. Such a past may very well be the key to surviving whatever transpires within the walls of Green Oaks. All right, everybody who is a member of the team playing today is going to be playing a senior citizen who is a resident of Green Oaks. One of the cool things is that this has both some randomizers and some options and some ideas to choose. So for all those of you listening, the way that this game works is all senior citizens are defined by 3 descriptors. They are a former something, a retired something with a something hobby. So there are 3 attributes or descriptors that are going to go. For example, someone could be a former Marine who is also a retired priest with a recreational marijuana hobby. That's the description, that's the example they gave right here. And we are going to get into that right now. Why don't we go ahead and we'll go around and meet our senior residents. You are all sitting at a table in the day room of Green Oaks. And why don't we go around and we're going to identify who everybody is. Let's see. Let's go in the order of the way you guys are on my screen. So why don't we go Izzie, Tamari, then Jamie, and that's also what we'll take of order of turns, if that makes sense when you're making decisions of what to do. So why don't we go, Izzie, why don't you introduce us to your character?
I am Maple Joanna, former serial killer, retired doctor with a gardening hobby.
That's a good hobby to lean into after
And
a
that
very
was
varied life.
it was what the cards chose.
Nice. Okay. Let's go around. Tamari?
I am Duchess Philomena Rambutan. And I saw I needed a nickname, so I just decided I like Peaches because it's probably easier than everything else. I am a former 5-star Michelin chef, retired assassin, with a close-up magic hobby.
Awesome. All right. And Jamie?
I am Evelyn, but you all can call me Evie. I am a former nurse, a retired riveter, and my hobby is improvised weapon fighting.
Right. Evie. Now, the 3 of you are gathered together as you're sitting here at the table because the 3 of you have formed, you've all gravitated towards each other and you have formed a club. Let's take a minute and decide, what is your club? What is the foundation of the club? It's just the 3 of you who have gathered together in this new friendship at this new location of the new chapter of your life.
Violence? I mean, we all seem to have a theme of violence going on.
This is perfect. And I like to think, well, let me make sure your other team members are good with that.
Please.
Violence Club.
Violence Club, yeah.
The nice thing about that is that if any of the staff ask, you can always say it's a violins club. Then they'll think it's about music.
Or we could sit and knit, and we would have our tools right in our hands. Knitting
This
club.
works. This works. As you guys are sitting and talking, and before we get into a greater description of what's going on around you, we're going to, let's say that as you're talking about the history of violence and your own experiences, telling amusing, riveting, or horrifying stories to each other, you decide to, as part of this club, you're each going to share one personal point of pride about your life and one regret that you have. Let's go around in the same order. So, Mabel?
Oh, I forgot about that. Um, one thing that fills me with pride is that I got to kill so many bad people, but I regret that that one got away. I don't remember their name. I'll think of it eventually.
Ooh. Feel free to utilize that later if you wish. This game allows for
In
the
my old
players
age,
to
I've
help
forgotten.
shape the narrative. Yes. All right. Peaches?
I am very proud of about all the things that I have prevented from happening that nobody will ever find out about. And my only regret is that I retired too early.
All right. And how about you, Evie?
I'm proud of all the lives I've saved as a nurse. And I always regret not taking that third cat.
Okay. Now, as we go forward in the game, I'm going to encourage you, if it comes up, one of the things about Green Oaks as a game is very interesting, is that it actually encourages there's some dynamics where the players can help to shape the narrative, and feel free to utilize your regrets or things you're proud of if it comes up. Feel free to put something in there and just say, "Hey, that's the guy," or something like that. That's fine. We'll work around it. Okay. This is my own kind of addition to it to have a little bit of that element. So here's how we go into playing. Everybody has a character sheet that they have filled out that has their name and all the junk that we just talked about. It also has a counter for bother and haughtiness. Bother is when you get upset about something. A lot of us at a certain age, we get a little set in our ways. As I used to go on the movie podcast that Michael Deniston did a lot. I don't know if he's still in our group or whatever, is he, that on Facebook, but he always used to talk about how anxious he was to become a grumpy old man because he was already, had some of those feelings. But and then so things that bother us, we'll get into how we use that. But usually when there are failed checks for choices, you get a bother point, and if you get too many bother points, then you are forced to make a scene. If you make too many scenes, then you will collapse and have to take a nap for a number of turns. Haughtiness is usually something that you gain when you have a successful check. And when that happens, haughtiness is sort of the sense of like, I knew it. I was right all along. I predicted this, that type of thing. So as we accrue those points, you get an opportunity to use your own imagination and say what it is that you're bothered by or what it is that you're bragging about. If you get a certain number, if you get 4 haughtiness points, you get to start a rumor, and you can choose either a false rumor that people will believe or a true rumor that will change the story because it now becomes true. So that will be up to you. All right. And there are a couple of other dynamics that we will get into as we go. Now, another difference between this and a lot of other role-playing games is we use no dice to make decisions. No dice. What we use is playing cards. It is a regular deck of playing cards. Some have been removed. It mimics a bridge game, apparently, but I don't really play bridge, and that's not real important. So when you draw a card, there is going to be, and in this case, since we're not all in the same room, I will have to do all the drawing from the deck. When the GM is going to start by drawing a card, and Oh my word. I forget now. Is that spades or clubs? That's clubs, right?
Spades.
That's spades. Okay. I always get those two mixed up. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I just drew one at random that I'm going to put back in the deck. So now, spades is what we call for now is our trump card, our trump suit. That is our winning suit. When you pull out a card, when a card is pulled for one of your decisions, that is how you win, is by getting the trump suit. If it is not the trump suit, then you either fail the check or have another option that we will get into, depending on what type of card it is. A check is done just as similar to any RPG when you roll dice, anything you would roll dice for, okay? And if you're going to do something that has an uncertain outcome or could influence the story, then we will do a check to see if you are successful with it. Let's see. I think that's about it. Oh, one of the things is, too, you do get an advantage if you can come up with an action that you can do that ties into one of your descriptors. So, for example, if it's something that you can reasonably convince me ties back to either one of the roles that you played in your life, you're retired, if it has to do with, I mean, you guys are going to have advantages here with violence, with medical things, obviously for Jamie, for your character and others. So you guys will be in charge of keeping track of that because you have your own attributes. And then, if you convince me. So the advantage that it seems you get is, in that case, you can pull 2 cards and take the better one if you can tie it in with one of your attributes, skills, etc. If it is something that is extremely straightforward, even if I call for a check, if you're like, hey, I think I would be able to do this without any trouble because of a roll, if you can convince me of that, I might not make you do a check. Does that make sense so far? Okay. Sounds good. Let's get into it, shall we? All right. Now, as you all have received the map that I sent out, a very rudimentary map, let's say, of Green Oaks, you'll notice that you are sitting in the day room, the largest room in the complex. Off to one side, you have the lobby, you have all of the resident rooms. You've got a little clinic off to one corner, and then a cafeteria down below. In the day room, there are several tables. That's what those little round shapes are. There's a little corner with a TV, and let's just go ahead and imagine there's all the stuff that you would need to do stuff there. You're sitting at one table holding your club meeting. Over in another corner of the day room, you see... where's everyone's names? You see the new recreational therapist. She has just started, and she is doing an activity where she's having everyone stand up and do stretches and play some little role game that she's having them do certain, maybe it's Simon Says or something like that. Amy Zielinski is her name. She has just started. You notice, of course, that it is very, very cold, which is not a surprise because this morning there was an announcement that went out that the furnace is broken. It is cold outside, but not devastatingly cold. But they did put out little baskets of gloves, knit hats, scarves, and things like that. There are fingerless options as well as not fingerless options because it takes all kinds. Looks like, yes, Mr. Johnny Filthy, who is one of the residents, is a retired engineer, and he has a tinkering hobby. As far as like what else, he has some other part of his background other than being an engineer, but whenever anyone asks him about it, he says, "Don't ask me about my business." That's all that he'll say about that, of what he used to do. So he's kind of off. You can see him sort of, the boiler room is just barely, it's a little closet area in the day room. He's still banging away at it. Nobody's really stopped him. And he's, just going on there. Over next to you on the table, you see your friends, other people that you know, rather. You can decide if you like them. Zoe, Susie, Edgar, and Casey are all sitting at a table, and they're all playing bridge, which I believe you are partnered up with the person sitting across from you. Currently, Zoe is berating Susie for being a bad partner. You can see the 3 orderlies, Randall, Brandon, and Billy, are milling around the area, just kind of watching everybody One of them's going into the cafeteria to make sure lunch is getting ready. You can see Persephone Jones, who is the admin of the facility, is kind of observing, and her office is down off the lobby. She's kind of coming and going. It's just a normal day at Green Oaks. Let's see. How long have you each been there, by the way?
Too long.
Yeah, go ahead and just say just roughly.
I just got here.
Consult with each other. What's that?
I just got here.
Just got here. Okay.
Yeah. I make friends quickly.
Okay.
10
And so,
years.
Jamie, you said you've been there too long. You don't remember.
Let's say 5 years.
Okay. And
That
how
is
about
too long.
Mabel? Mabel, how
and
long have you been there?
I had said 10.
Oh, you said 10. I didn't hear
Yeah.
that. Okay.
No, it's fine. I didn't say it loudly.
5 years, new. Okay, 5 years. Just so I have an idea. All of a sudden, you hear a yell coming from down the hallway where the rooms are. Ah! Like that. Somebody's like yelling. You hear some crashing and smashing and banging. What are you guys going to do? You guys going to?
Gonna have to check it out.
Right.
At least
figured.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
All right. Are all three of you going? Everybody going to go check it out?
Yeah, I want to see what the
Yeah.
ruckus was.
All right. So you come down the hallway and you see one of the doors is open. And you guys know this guy. He's been around a little while. Mickey Golden Mitts Savine. He's a retired boxer and a former wrestler as well. And he has a shouting hobby where he does like to shout. He's very good at that and singing as well. Let's say that he's good at singing and projecting as well. But he is just cussing and yelling. He's got a cut on the side of his head, and then laying on the ground is the new nurse. Nurse Mumford has only been here for a couple of weeks. He's laying on the ground, kind of groaning as if he's basically barely conscious. As you get up there, the window of the room has been shattered, and there's glass all over the place. It looks like somebody had smashed it coming into the room. All right, so you come on in, and Mabel, what are you gonna do?
Oh. Well, let's see. Can I go ahead and tend to Ricky? Well, I guess no. I want to tend to the nurse because
Okay, you
I'm
want to
not
check
sure
him
if
out?
they're alive or not.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go and you help him up, and he says like, "Oh, I don't know what happened. Somebody, I came in here. Somebody was fighting with Mickey. I tried to help him. Is he okay?"
Bleeding.
He's starting to stand up. He doesn't. He's got a big old welt on the side of his face, but he doesn't seem to be bleeding himself. The nurse, that is. But yes, Mickey is bleeding. Okay, and let's see, Peaches, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna look out the window to see if anybody's running away.
Oh, it's good, yes. Okay, so you look out and you do see some big footprints. They're awfully big kind of footprints. And as you glance around, you can see footprints kind of going out, and there is a black case just kind of off to the side outside the window, looking like it was dropped. Let's see. It's close enough you could probably grab it.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Bring it right back in.
All right. As you grab it, you notice that the latch is open, and inside the case is some foam inserts, which, as an assassin, you probably are familiar with, like cases with foam inserts and things packed into them, right? So you probably would recognize that kind of a thing. You probably carried lots of rifles and things that were disassembled and put into those kinds of cases, right? I assume. So that's your background, right? You're an assassin?
I am.
Okay.
But I'm also a chef, and you can carry anything in the kitchen.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So you're very familiar with these kinds of cases. So it's easy for you to tell that the cutouts in the foam are the shape of two human hands, but they are empty. There's nothing in them. There's also, in the case, a very, very sharp surgeon's saw.
How big are the hands?
They look like they are made to, they're not huge. They're kind of just normal, kind of human size. But you do notice there's a few inserts inside that can be pulled out, almost as if someone didn't know for sure what size hands they were going to put in, for sure, let's say.
And I smell it to see if it smells like formaldehyde.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. It doesn't smell like formaldehyde. It, you know what though? Let's, do you want to do a check to see if you can recognize the smell that it has?
Yes.
Okay. And let's see, do you have anything in your repertoire that would give you advantage here?
Well, because I'm a chef, I have a very sensitive sense of smell and
Ah, there you go. Okay, so pulling them out, it looks like, all right, you've got a 2 of diamonds and a 7 of clubs. And both of those are not the trump suit, so they are not necessarily success cards. They are both numbers, so they fall under the same one. They are not, neither one of them is more advantageous than the other. However, so that says that it is a failure. You do have to take 1 bother point. However, so you can mark that on your sheet if you would, just a bother point. And if you can come up with something to grumble about, you can draw again. But you risk a bother point if you do.
I look around, I see all the broken glass, and I'm annoyed that no one has cleaned it up yet.
Okay, nice. How do you say that, by the way? Go ahead and grumble for us.
This is a mess, and I'm not cleaning any of this up. Someone else is going to come in and do this. I'm not touching it. I'm going to cut myself, and someone else is dealing with this. I'm not.
Okay. All right. We pulled out, I pulled out 2 cards. One of them is not the trump, a face card, and the other is a trump suit. If everybody will excuse me using the word trump so often in this game. Okay, so you have a number card trump, which means that you have success, and you receive 2 haughtiness points. So if you would give yourself that. All right, and I'm going to depend on you guys. When you hit your 4th on those, you'll have to tell me because I can't see your sheets. Okay, so 2 haughtiness points. So as you smell, you smell a deep, otherworldly, animalistic smell, as if this is some creature. It doesn't smell like you recognize enough about meats and animals and things in your experience that you can smell and recognize that this is not anything of any kind of like normal animal. There's a supernatural kind of smell to it. Kind of like a beast or a monster sort of a smell. Okay. All right, Evie, what are you going to do?
I suppose I will tend to Mickey's wounds and ask him who or what attacked him and where they went. Like, because I haven't looked out the window to see the tracks.
Right. As you do, excuse me, you look at the cuts, and the cuts look like they're very kind of a deep cut on the side that look like it was made not by any kind of cutting instrument, but you can recognize from years of nursing that it looks almost like a slash mark, like an animal attack. Okay. And as you try to talk to Mickey, and let's see, you've been here for 5 years. You've known Mickey for quite some time. He was here before you got here. And although you have never known Mickey to have any kind of issues with his memory, he seems foggy-headed. And he's like, what? I don't know. I don't know what happened. Who's it? What's your name again? Sorry. Do I know you? Have you and I met before? I can't
Does he
believe
know where
it.
he's at?
You can ask him.
Do you know where you're at, Mickey? Do you know who you are?
I'm Mickey Golden Mitts. Mickey Golden Mitts. So fine. Oh, I used to go in there and box. I was the champion with my golden mitts. I'd go in and they'd chant for me. They'd say, Mickey Golden Mitts Savine. Oh, Mickey, you're Savine. You're Savine. You blow my mind. But where am I now? What is this place? Do I have a fight? My hand hurts like I've been in a fight, but I don't have no gloves. What's going on?
Can I tell if he's has a concussion?
Yeah, so you look at his eyes and you measure, and you are, let's see. Um, does that fit within? Well, yeah, with your nursing and stuff, that
Oh,
should
yeah, yeah, yeah.
fit well within. So he
Yeah,
does
I
not seem to
assist.
have a concussion.
Okay.
He doesn't have any kind of a blunt trauma, just a cut.
Is he thinking with sand?
Say that again. Thinking with
Oh, never mind.
sand. What does
Sorry.
that mean?
No, I saw the Bubba Hotep reference, and that's why I
Oh, okay, there you go. I gotcha.
was.
No, but he
Okay.
does. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. And for let's go then back around to the order of. Well, at this point, Nurse Mumford gets up and he's like, "All right, everybody's got to go. I'm going to take Mickey to the clinic, make sure that he is doing okay. Thank you for checking him out. Thank you for your kindness. Let's just go, Mickey, shall we?" And he just escorts Mickey down the hall towards the clinic. You notice as he goes out, he grabs the case and takes it with him. Okay, where are you guys gonna go?
Um, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I want to follow him and grab the case back.
Yeah, I'm wondering why I
It's
grabbed
mine. I
the
took
case.
it.
I want to do a sense motive check.
Right.
You want to do a sense what?
I want to do a sense motive check.
Okay, you want to see if you can figure out what's going on with
Yeah,
him?
why he took the case. Like, did he just pick it up as evidence, or did he take it because
Mm-hmm.
he just because he felt entitled to take it
All
for
right.
what?
Well, tell you what. Should I have you do a check on that, or are you going to
Yeah,
ask
do a
him
check.
verbally? Okay.
I'm all sorts of ready to be bothered.
Is there a skill or anything that you can use to do two instead of one?
I could make the argument that being a nurse and having worked with people for so long, I have some intuition.
Gotcha.
That a sixth sense sometimes with people. We'll
Okay.
see if I do it today.
Yes. All right. So out of the two cards, you got a non-Trump suite face card and a Trump suite number
Super.
card. So you did succeed if you pick that one. 2 haughtiness points, and you succeed. You can't. Okay, so you can't necessarily tell his exact. Well, you can't read his mind, but you can tell. You did notice that he did not look at the case when you brought it in. In fact, he did not even seem. He didn't ask about it. He
He
didn't
didn't
seem to
acknowledge it
take
really.
notice of it. He didn't acknowledge it. And that as you do notice the way that his posture is as he's walking down the hall, is he's holding it kind of between him and Mickey as if he doesn't want anyone to notice it.
50.
Yeah. So
Peaches,
go ahead.
Peaches, shall we go after him?
Yes.
Is
Can we try to take it back?
able to?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. Are you you were following him then down the hall? He is going into the clinic with Mickey. Are you going to follow him in there?
Can I use my improvised weapons hobby to find something that would be useful if I need to defend myself?
Sure. Let me pull out. Okay, so you've drawn. All right, you have a. They're both not Trump. There is a face card, not Trump, and there is a numbers card, not Trump. So with the two options that gives you is they're both fails. The face card will give you a chance to change it to a success if you grumble, but you have to take 2 bother points. The other one, you can grumble in order to draw again and take a chance on getting one, but you only have to take 1 bother point.
Um, I'll do the grumble in the one pool. So
Grumble in the draw or grumble and turn it to a success?
grumble in the draw. Let's have fun with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead and grumble about something.
Oh gosh, there's just nothing here. Like all these books. Who reads in this place? Like flowers? What do I need flowers for?
All right. And okay, so you did get a face card
Sweet.
Trump suite on that draw, which gives you 2 haughtiness points. And if you grumble about one more thing, you can get a third.
Well, I just got 4 haughtiness perk points, so
Oh, okay. So you may now start a rumor.
I would like to start a rumor that um do I have to decide now if it's true or not?
I
Um,
think the narrator decides it with a card on his own.
oh, is that what it is?
Oh, did I read too far in the book?
No, you might have. I made it. Maybe I missed that part. So I would draw a card and that tells me if it is or not.
Yeah, and then you would know if it's true or not until I think an opportune point
Okay.
comes
What
about
is
that
that
you
if
would
it's
tell
a,
people.
so it's true if it's a Trump suite and not true if it's not?
I think so
Okay. Well,
But
go
you don't
ahead.
tell us if it's true or not until
No, you'll
okay.
find
until it's
out.
the right time. Yeah.
Mwahaha.
Um, I'm gonna pull out a little session 9 here, and I'm gonna say that the basement's treasure is filled with teeth.
Okay.
Some
So you turn and tell everybody, and you notice that you're standing next to the bridge table. And when you mention that, Zoe, Edgar, Casey, and Edna, I think, whatever the other one was, they all go, ooh, teeth. There's teeth in the basement. You notice that Zoe doesn't seem to believe it. All right. All right. Oh, and you find a weapon. What is that weapon that you find?
I'm gonna be like, duh, the flowers are in a vase. I'm gonna take the vase.
There you go. All right. Okay, are you guys going in the clinic?
Um,
I
would I
am.
be able to? Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, go
Awesome.
ahead. No, please go.
That's fine. I'm terrible at this.
I go barging in and I complain that he took my case that I just found and I wanted to take a look at it and I wasn't ready to
Great.
let it go.
All right. So you have let's see, you barge in and there's Mumford's like, "What are you doing here? I'm examining Mickey." What? No, this case this isn't your case.
I found it outside. Now it's mine.
Well, it was outside of I don't know. I don't know that it's yours. Why does it have this saw in it then? Or are you carrying around a surgeon's saw?
How did you know it was in it?
Because I opened it before you guys came in. I thought maybe it was left by the intruder. I
Well, you don't need to know my business and it's my saw and I'm taking it back.
I call shenanigans because that thing was outside and he was on the floor. I think he's full of it.
Listen, listen. I don't have to answer to you guys about this. I'm gonna. Let's see if actually do you want to? Are you trying to intimidate him? You want to take a
Yes,
check?
I would love to intimidate him.
Okay, so let's see, Mabel. What do you have? That would
Do I
be.
have to do a check if I'm a serial killer and he can see it in my eyes?
Let's see. That's a good. Yeah, that's a pretty good. Let's.
Look at
But
my
how about
eye.
do a check to see if he'll do what you want him to do?
Okay, cool.
Okay. So you did get. Okay, we did get a number card. That was the Trump suite. So you get 2 haughtiness points and success. So he goes, fine, just take it. I don't even know. This job isn't even worth this kind of putting up with this kind of nonsense. People getting attacked and all this shit.
That's right. Here you go,
Uh,
Peaches.
You guys need to get out of here, though. And you notice that he is giving some medication to Mickey.
Do I know what kind of medication?
Oh, that is a good question. The nurse, it does not look like any prescription medication that you have ever seen before. The pills actually, they don't have any kind of markings on them, like from what you can see from where you're standing. The pills do not look like they have any markings on them, like they were machined made.
Do I see where he took the pills out of?
No, he already had them out before when you came in.
Okay.
They're in a little cup.
Since I do close-up magic, can I have swiped one without anybody noticing so I can bring it to her so we can look at it?
Sure. Why don't we draw and see? Okay, so you got 2 face cards. Neither of them, however, are Trump suite, so that was a failure. You do take a bother point. You can draw again if you can grumble about something.
I can grumble about my case again. I thought he could take my case, but I took it back and now it's mine.
Okay. All right. You did get a successful face card on your second draw. So you got success. Take 2 haughtiness points. Which does that put you up to a rumor yet?
That is for you.
Okay. What's the rumor?
I heard that the reason we have teeth in the basement is because the place is run by werewolves and they collect teeth in the basement and they're all werewolves.
All right. You say that, and Nurse Mumford, who has just started within the last 2 weeks, says, "What? That's scary. That's scary AF. Just like you guys. Everything here is scary. The residents, the werewolves, the strange attacks, he says the strange orc attacks in people's bedrooms. Ridiculous.
Orc
And
attack? The what?
the orc attacks. You, and by the way, you were successful, so you did get one of the pills. At this point, Nurse Mumford repeats, "I need you all to leave so I can finish examining Mickey. If you guys can't get out, I'm going to have to talk to Miss Persephone, the admin, and see what needs to be done here. So, do you need me to call her?"
Don't get your panties in a twist.
You're muted, Jamie.
I sure am. I want to listen at the door when I leave.
Okay. All right. So you listen, and all you can hear inside is the nurse going like, "You take this, Mickey," all right, Mickey, just take this, and you'll feel a little better. Just take this. Don't worry, nothing to worry about. He's just saying normal, soothing things. As you are, let's see, you come out into the day room as you're standing there trying to listen. You don't hear any, that is what you hear. And let's see, you notice that Miss Zelinsky is wrapping up her rec therapy. She keeps, and you notice that she has everybody in a circle. She's like, "Take your gloves off, take the gloves off. Everybody hold hands. Everyone hold your hands up high, down low. Everybody touch hands. Touch hands? Touch hands? No, everybody's touched hands. Great, we're done then. All right, we're done. Everybody go back to whatever the hell you were doing." And so they're all done. And although they, gather up their little warm things, their gloves and stuff, because it is still quite chilly. And they start going about their activities. And you see her, she does look kind of perturbed, and she heads down the hallway, the room hallway. And that's what she does. As you look around, so she's going down the hallway. You see Johnny is still beating up on the furnace. Nobody else has stopped him from doing that yet. The orderlies are now turning the TV on to the channel and trying to get some people to decide what they want to watch. And the admin, and you can see also Miss Persephone is coming out of Mickey's room with a report that she's filled out. And she has talking on a headset it sounds like she's talking to the police, just saying, "Yes, we need an officer to check the grounds. One of our residents was attacked, blah, blah." Very much standard, what you'd expect, as she's walking to her office. What do you want to do? Let's see. You'll go through the order and see. How about Mabel? What do you want to do?
First, I'd like to ask, is it weird that they made everyone touch hands in a circle? Like a ritual?
The other recreational therapist, Miss Amy Zelinsky, joined 2 weeks ago on the staff. And the recreational therapist before that, you never saw them play any games like that. They always had arts, crafts, sort of normal rec therapy type of activities. So basically that is not something you've ever seen before.
Can I stalk her?
Sure, go for it. So you're just going to follow her down the hallway?
Yeah. Just try to see what she's up to, if she's just checking on anything or she's doing something suspicious.
So let's see. You're following down the hallway. I won't make you make a check for that because you belong there anyway, and also you probably have some good sneaky skills from your serial killing. By the way, from the things you were proud of before, you said you killed. Were you a Dexter style serial killer? If I
Yeah.
can ask. Okay, that's what it
I
sounded
figured
like.
that was the best thing to do, especially being also a doctor. I figured it
Oh, there
was
you go.
for the best I went after bad
Right.
people. I save people during the day, murder people at night,
There
you
you
know.
go. All right. So you're following her down the hallway, and then let me just ask before we keep going with that. Um, how about for y'alls? What are you guys doing? Let me. Oh, go to. Usually that would be Peaches next. What are you gonna do?
I want to go check out the what's going on with the furnace.
Okay. And then what about you for Evie? What are you gonna do?
I have a question first.
Sure.
And I'm not going to metagame because I actually know the answer for this in real life. Um, but first off, the nurse and the therapist, the
Mm-hmm.
recreational therapist, both started 2 weeks ago. Did they start at the same time?
They did.
Oh, is there a lot of turnover? Would it be odd that they started at the same time?
Um, one of the things that you did hear people talk about was it was strange that the former nurse was let go for missing. There were a bunch of missing drugs found in her car, and she protested that she was innocent and was fired. The former rec therapist, right about exactly the same time, received a sweepstakes on a dream vacation and said, "I'm out of here, suckers," and left. So they both had they both had been there as long as you both been there, 5, and you said maybe you've been there 10 years. So they both had been there forever and never really seen anything strange happen with either of them. But yeah, they both left fairly suddenly under those circumstances.
I'm gonna go check on Mickey.
Okay. All right. So let's go with let's see. Let's follow Mabel first. You're following Zelensky down the hallway, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you notice she gets all the way to the end of the hallway, and there's a little corner past all the rooms where you know that that goes to the basement door. And you get to that point, and you're able to look and see. As she gets up to the door, she does do a little bit of a look around. And then you notice that she shrinks physically down to a teeny little person and then climbs under the gap under the door. And that's what happens. That's what you see. What do you do?
I wonder if I took my medication this morning, just, you know,
You
making
did.
sure.
You did.
Okay. Okay. Have some senses about you, Mabel. You know what you just saw. Um, well, I figure it's best to just go ahead and let the crew know, because at this point she's in the basement, so we can go there if they choose that later. So I'm gonna go and find the crew and let them know.
Okay.
Peaches, Evie.
Okay. So as you're coming back, you notice that. Okay, you see, yeah, Peaches and Evie over there. So now let's go to Peaches. You go up to the furnace, and you see Johnny Filthy is working on the furnace. And right as you get up there, he has a DoorDash person that just brought him a sandwich. He's just paying them, and as you walk up, the guy's leaving, and he says, "Keep the change, you filthy animal."
Mhm.
And then he says, "Oh, Peaches, Peaches, how you doing? I can't get this rack of fracking furnace going."
Did you try to turn it on?
Ah, that was the first thing I tried. Yeah, you must have some engineering in your background too, eh?
Oh, in a way. Did you try turning it off and then turning it on again?
I tried that, but all of the gas lines and everything, they're just all twisted up, and it's just nothing's working, and the lighter thing is broken, and yep, it just ain't it ain't. I heard they're calling a professional to fancy fix it, but I think I can. I think if I keep working at it, I can repair the damage that I did.
But first, you should go sit down and can I see what kind of sandwich he has? Can I have some?
Yeah, sure. He's willing to share it. It's an Italian sub. It's done Mike's way, so it's dripping with vinegar and oil. But he goes ahead and he rips it in half and says, "Here, you have some." He's got a strange, like a gentlemanly flair for all of his rough edges. He's never given anybody any trouble here, and seems to be respectful.
So we break bread and we bond over a sandwich.
He is, yes, he is like most people wearing gloves as he's eating. And then he asks you, "Hey, what was that stuff what was with Mickey? I saw Mickey come through all bleeding and such."
Don't worry about it.
All right, all
What's the
right.
goodness?
I remember back in the day, old Mickey, they always people used to try to give him money to take a dive, and he never would. He never would. He was he was an honest stand-up kind of guy when he was in the ring. Except for when he got knocked out, then he was a lay down kind of guy. But other than that, but I mean, morally, ethically, he was a stand up guy.
And did he win more or did he lose more?
Oh, no, he won. That's why they called him Golden Mitts, the pair of golden hands, they said he had. Not nothing literal, by the way. I think that was a metaphorical name because gold is a very soft metal. I would have said iron hands myself, but nobody asked me nothing. Let's see. As you are having that, you notice Nurse Mumford, and this is something. Okay, so Nurse Mumford comes out and he walks past you, Evie, as you were going to the clinic. And he kind of eyeballs you, and then of course he eyeballs you a little bit too, Peaches. And he comes up and he says to Johnny, he's like, Johnny, I gotta check your check your pulse. I want to make sure you didn't get any gas inhalation while you were over here. And Johnny's like, "What do you think? I'm stupid? I turned the gas off." And he says, I know, but here, just put your wrist out, would you, real quick? Just put your wrist out. And tell you what, we would take that glove off. Just take that glove off. And he takes the glove off. Nurse Mumford actually takes a gloved hand himself and touches his wrist for just a second, and then says, "Yeah, all right, I guess it's fine. And don't forget your sandwich." And he hands the sandwich to the ungloved hand and stares for a minute. Johnny takes the sandwich. Nurse Mumford looks a little disappointed, then walks away. All right, so let's go over to Evie. You're now at the clinic door. What are you going to do? You're going in?
I'm going to be a little suspicious and perhaps put on not fingerless gloves and grab a cardigan to cover my arms. And I'm going to see how Mickey's doing.
Okay, so you're now in the clinic. Do you close the door behind you for privacy, secrecy, or just checking, see if anyone can see you?
Because Mabel's coming up. I mean, I don't know that, but
okay. So you just go in. Mickey's sitting there, and he looks to be all in a fog. And he says, "Huh, Evie? It's Evie, right? Is that your name, Evie? Oh, thanks, Evie. I think. Hey, how are you? What's going on? What's happening? I got this like bandage on my face. I don't know why. This is really weird. I talk a little bit like Johnny. I'm not sure if that was my voice before, but I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of things. Mickey at this point.
All right.
It's just a metaphor. Just a metaphor. It was just a metaphor. It wasn't real. I don't know
What's
why.
the meta for you?
You're not really. He holds up his hands and he's like, nothing. And he's touching the table and going like.
Is he wearing gloves?
No.
Okay.
He's tapping the table with his hand and saying like, I don't get it. I don't get these questions. I don't get it.
All right. I'm not getting anything from here. Is it too late? And if the answer is yes, that's totally understandable because I didn't ask. Is it too late to have grabbed the pill from Peaches to see if I could identify?
Did you give it to her, Peaches, or did you hold on to it?
I slipped it to her. I don't like having to carry stuff that I don't.
Okay, that's fine.
Just cases, but not
okay.
pills.
Yeah.
The
So
case
you're
is mine,
gonna.
but I don't like that. I grabbed it to give it to her.
Okay, that's what I thought. We'll retcon that. That's fine. So you're gonna analyze it. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
you do a
yeah,
check for that, and you did get one face card success.
super.
So with that, you get two haughtiness, and you succeed. You can tell that this is a rudimentary pill that was created in a pill press that someone had made themselves. And as you do whatever you do, tell us what you do to analyze the. Do you smell it? Do you feel it? What do you do to analyze what it is? You're not going to swallow it, obviously, but just tell us the. You're going to
Just a little
succeed
taste,
either way,
a
but
little
just
lick.
what did you do? A little lick. Okay, yeah, you give a little lick, and then all of a sudden, you forget your phone number for about 10 seconds, and then it pops back in your head. So you forgot your own phone number for about 10 seconds, and you realize that these are forgetty pills. That someone has created these pills that are designed to make people have a short-term amnesia, and by the just the jolt that you got from that lick, you can guess that a pill like that's going to take out someone's recent memories and give them a kind of a foggy head for at least a few days.
All right. I'm going to share this with Mabel and Peaches.
Okay, so now you're all gathering back together in the day room around over by just, I don't know, wherever, kind of the middle room, and you all share the things that happened. Okay. What are you guys going to do, either as a consensus or we're back around to Mabel now? You guys going to go somewhere together, do something together, or what are you going to do?
I am willing to wait my turn, but I would like to check out the basement door and see if there's anything I
Yeah.
can figure from my riveting,
Okay.
and that if I can open it.
Okay. Is that a consensus for everybody?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
for me.
Okay.
While we're
Cool.
walking down the hall, I rip the sandwich into 3 pieces and we have
All
a snack.
right. Sounds good.
Snackaroni.
And you become even better friends when you do that. So let's see. You get to the door, and yes, the door is locked. And let's see, Evie, with your riveting
Can I take the
abilities,
screws off, the hinges off?
let's give it a try. Give it a try. Mhm. All right, that is a two face cards that are non-Trump suites. So that is a failure to take the hinges off. You can grumble to draw again.
I'm going to grumble. I should get something better than a fork. I need a butter knife.
Okay. You do have to take one bother point for that
Do that.
as well. So then with you did draw in your second draw round. You did get wow, you get an immediate. So you got an ace of
Ooh,
success.
stop that.
An ace of success means that you succeed. You get to start a rumor immediately. And if you want to, you can change the Trump suite to a different suite.
I would like to change the Trump suite to diamonds because we haven't really seen too many of those.
Okay, that's good.
So the rumor I would like to start is that um, the nurse and the recreational therapist are Bigfoot, but they can be Littlefoot too. So that's why nobody sees Bigfoot, is because they can shrink themselves.
Okay. They are Bigfoots with shrinking abilities.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right.
Gossip.
And you did yep, the door is off the hinges now.
Super. Sweet.
And as you go downstairs, what you notice is that is a whole like labyrinthian type of, there's just tons of hallways just going on all over the place. So do you have any ideas of how you would want to proceed down the hallway?
Did we finish the sandwiches?
No. How about no? I want to see what you have in mind.
Dropping breadcrumbs through the labyrinth.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're
Or
dropping some
slices of
breadcrumbs.
salami.
Okay. Dropping crumbs and pieces of salami as you go to make sure that you aren't doubling back, sort of a thing. Okay. So you keep going. And let's see. Does anybody have anything that would make you? I was going to say, you can do a check to see if you can find Amy down here. Does anyone have any skills that they think would help with that? Anything at all that you can tie into it.
Would think the assassin and the serial killer would be able to track people.
Yeah, stalking wise and stuff.
Okay. Got any ideas
Tracking.
of what were we talking? Are we talking listening? Are we talking? Do you have?
Listening, we're smelling the air to see if we can sense any more of that.
Okay. Let's go. Well,
Feel
I'll
the
tell you
floor
what, with the
vibrations?
listening. Okay, so you're what, leaning against the floor or the wall with that kind of thing for vibrations?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead, and on the floor you can sense a vibration. I will give you that without a check. And you can it almost as if something is being dragged and then dropped, dragged and then dropped. Okay, so you follow the sense of those. Are you continue putting little crumbs so you can find your way back, and you get to sort of a central room. There looks like a storage room, and there's a light on in there. So as you get up, you can peek inside, and you see Amy Zielinski, normal sized, pulling at what looks to be a vase of flowers made of solid gold. And she is dragging, it's quite heavy, and she keeps having to put it down. And she is walking. She walks out a separate door that, and heads out that door somewhere. As she leaves, you can see in this room is a whole bunch of golden stuff in a big pile just all over the place. You see there's several gold toothbrushes. There's a gold toilet plunger. You see there are several decks of cards, both full decks that are made of gold, or at least a replica of a deck of cards. And there are also several that look like some cards that have been fanned out as well, like someone was holding them as well, kind of a thing. Just several items like that, everyday items. There's some cups. There's some things that you recognize from the cafeteria. There's a napkin holder that's gold as well. Just a lot of things that look like things that you'd find around Green Oaks, except they are replicated in gold.
Is there a candlestick?
Candlestick?
I'm looking for an improvised weapon in the theme of Clue.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. I'm trying to think what you'd
I'll
find.
take a candelabra. That'll be fun too.
Tell you what, there's not a candlestick, but there is what looks like it would be a scented candle if it weren't made of gold. So cylindrical and heavy like a candlestick, but it looks like a candle.
Oh, that's an awkward thing to hold though. Is there a gold pipe? Gold rope.
Let's see. There is a pipe, a rope, a revolver. What else is there in Clue?
A pillow. Let's have a gold pillow.
There is a gold pillow.
All right, I'll take the gold pillow.
Yeah. In fact, there's a whole stack of gold pillows. Different sizes. All right. Okay. So you take that?
Yeah.
Right. So while we're down here, you guys gonna hang out down here, or?
I'm going to walk over to the table and slip some cutlery into my pockets.
Okay. You can do that. And Mabel, you gonna do anything in here before you guys leave the room?
Did I was gonna call her Persephone. That's not who it is. Amy already leave?
Amy
Did we-
Zielinski. She already did leave through a door, yeah.
Are we able to follow her?
Yeah, you can. You look through the door that she left, and what you notice is that it's a fairly straight shot back to the stairs. Not as windy as the one that you guys took.
Oh, okay. So in this room, there's nothing but these golden items.
Bunch of golden items, yeah, just kind of stacked up in this. So it's an old storage room, but it seems to be mostly what's there.
Can I tell if they're actual items from? Well, you said that they're from Green Oaks. They're just gold.
They certainly
do we-
look like it, except for the fact that they're made out of gold.
So I say out loud, ladies, is there a Midas touch person here by chance that we might know of?
Oh, that would explain a lot. You hear a voice behind you.
Okay.
You all turn around and you see a man, sort of, standing wearing a security guard outfit. He has a large bull head, and you can see he looks basically like a minotaur uh, with a security badge on. And he says, I don't know what you all are doing down here. I'm supposed to be patrolling the hallway. I'm afraid all the residents need to be upstairs.
Is this normal?
Is it normal for you guys to see a minotaur? Let's say in all your years at Green Oaks, you've seen lots of things to where very little surprises you anymore. But this is one that is new.
Okay.
You've seen ghosts and specters and magic that seems to happen here. This is your first minotaur.
I say if we were really residents here, then we wouldn't be down here. So we're allowed to be here. I'll bluff my way through it.
Okay. Do you want to, let's see, is there anything in your history or your abilities that would make you a good bluffer?
The nursing is the best I could do. Oh, yes, you're
Okay.
going to be fine, sir. Don't worry about that.
Okay. They're both non-Trump Suite. What's the new one? Diamonds?
Yeah,
So they're both face cards, though. So that means that you take a bother point, but you can grumble and turn it into a success.
these young kids just don't understand us that, like, just because we're older doesn't mean we're useless. We definitely belong here.
So you now change it to a success. So the Minotaur says, "Oh, I'll tell you. All right. Well, I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. A lot of the people that live here are older as well, and I'll tell you what. The For those of us who work in security, the Minotaur shift starts. We get kind of tired and out of it. Ha ha ha. It's my little joke."
You're hilarious.
Are you guys bringing more of this golden stuff down here to dump again or what? Because you probably work here, right?
We're taking inventory.
Oh. It's usually those guys, the three orderly guys coming down, dumping this stuff.
For how long?
Oh, they've been doing it for, about 6 months or so. Never saw them do it before.
How long have you been here?
Oh, I've worked here for, I don't know. There's no clocks or windows down here.
But the gold's only been coming the last 6 months.
Yeah, that's true. I did tell that somehow. So yes, I've been here for years. But I guess it's because, and you look up and there is a calendar hanging on the wall. And it has a picture of a cat hanging on a branch that says "Hang in there, baby."
Oh, it looks just like the cat I regret not taking.
Oh, maybe it is. What year was the picture taken?
Yeah, right.
And you look on the year of the picture and the copyright, and it was in fact the year that you came across that cat. You've always wondered if it had a happy life afterwards, and so this makes you think it's possible that this cat may have become some kind of cat model. And hopefully it brings you some peace.
I ask if he's noticed any difference in just any differences within the last 2 weeks.
Oh, the last 2 weeks. Well, some of the gold started disappearing, but that was just a couple of days ago. But it was within the last 2 weeks. Other than that, I don't think I would have, or did, or whatever.
I need two
He
more
seems to be telling the
haughtiness
truth.
points. I need to start a rumor.
Hey, from what you can tell, he seems to be not very sophisticated, and so you feel like you could probably tell if he was lying. He seems to be pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Right?
I'm out of things until I can start a rumor.
Can I pet him?
Sure. He leans forward and is like, "Oh, shucks. You guys are all right. You can come down anytime."
Yeah.
They gave you a key, right? And he
Oh,
hands
yeah.
you a spare key to the basement door.
Oh, this is perfect. I just lost mine.
All right. So are you guys headed out of there? There's not much else happening down here, it seems.
Yeah, through that shortcut that
Okay.
Amy took.
As you
Oh,
go back
sniff
up,
him to see if he smells like the case.
oh, good. Yeah, he does not.
Nice.
He does not smell like the case. Okay. So let's see. You guys go back up the stairs. You don't see Amy anywhere. You get up back to the hallway. It looks like now Gangster Johnny is actually rehinging the door when you get up to the top. And he's like, finally, something I'm used to. I used to have to deal with doors all the time. Used to have to break them down. Used to have to reinforce them so other guys couldn't break them down. You know, all kinds. Don't ask me, though, about that. Don't ask me about my business. What are you guys doing in the basement?
Smoking pot.
Sounds.
He puts one finger aside his nose and is like, don't worry. I ain't no snitch. That was a reference to the movie The Sting, not a drug reference, by the way.
Um, does he how did he know to put the door back on? Did Amy say something to him, or did he just walk by and see it was off its hinges?
It's good point. He says, "Ah, well, Miss Persephone, well, you know who she is. She's the lady in charge of the facility." He says, she told me that she noticed the door had been ripped off and said, what else? What a day, what a day. And she asked Miss Zelinsky, the rec therapist, did you see that? And she said, what? No, I haven't even been down the hallway today. I don't go down there. Why, why would I go down there? He said he did an impression of her that was pretty good.
Suspicious.
Yes, he didn't seem. Oh, you mean, yeah, what she said was definitely suspicious because she
Yes.
definitely, that she definitely would have seen the door when she came out. Okay, so let's see. You're going to talk to Johnny some more, or are you going to head back out?
I think we need to head out and check out some more. I saw a pool.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, the
Okay.
courtyard. I was thinking courtyard and pool.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's see. You go out to there, the pool. Yes, as you go out, you do see the orderlies, a couple of the orderlies. Let's see, Randall and Billy are dragging they're dragging something underneath a big sheet that looks very heavy, and they're dragging it into the pool area. As they drag it over to the pool, they take a big plastic jug and they pour it in the pool, like some kind of chemical or something. They pull a sheet off, and what you see is there is a golden statue. As far as you can tell, it is a golden statue of Edna, one of the bridge players. And then they shove it into the pool. As it hits the pool, you see this bubbling in the water, and then Edna bursts out of the pool and says, "What in the world?" And Randall's like, "Don't you worry about it. Just come on with us. Let's get you dried off, honey." And so they help her out of the pool, and then they walk inside, back into the building.
I walk over to the pool and I take one of the forks that I had in my pocket and I dip it in the pool to see what happens.
Oh, the part that dips into the pool turns into a regular metal that you would see a regular fork be made of.
And we all look at each other.
Does the pool smell weird? Like, does it smell like chlorine or like something else?
Let's say it smells just kind of pleasant. There's the plastic jug laying on the ground next to the pool, and it says, "The waters of Pactolus."
What's pectolis?
Let's see. Do any of you have any in your background, any kind of literary background or anything?
Well, I do a lot of cooking and I do exotic cooking.
And there's a lot of literary like stories in recipes these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm a doctor. I read a lot.
I'm gonna do since you're a doctor, you read a lot. Is that what you said?
Sure. Yeah.
Let's go with the. I'll tell you what. Why don't I do a draw with the either one of you? It doesn't matter. Do you want to do the check as a doctor who reads a lot, or do you want to do the check as a cook who reads a lot of long recipe blogs? Doesn't really matter.
Doctor can do it.
Okay. Let's see. Mabel? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Looks like you did have a diamond. So you did have a success. Get a haughtiness point. And you recall from some of your Greek literature studies in your undergraduate that the waters of Pictolis were the waters in which when King Midas realized that his golden touch had turned even his own daughter into gold, that in a panic when he went to the god Dionysus, or however you say that, you don't recall how to say it. Anyway, he took mercy on him and sent him to the waters of Pictolis and then told him if he, whatever he put into the waters would turn back into what it was.
So I explained that to the ladies and say, I think Sandal and Millie are up to something.
Is there any water left in the jug?
Yes. It's got maybe a little bit less than a quarter full.
I take the jug, I put the cap back on, and I stick it in my case.
Okay. Great. All right. So let's see. While you guys are doing that, let's see. At this point, you see Amy Zielinski comes out. Or are you guys going back in the building? Where are you? As you're coming back into the building, maybe she just intercepts you. She's walking past you. And she says,
I'd like to hang out in the courtyard, keep an eye on the pool.
Okay. But so she comes out and she has a little bouncy ball. And she's like, you guys, you didn't make rec therapy. And Persephone gets on me if I don't get everybody to have a little rec therapy. We're going to do a little share the whatever. I got this little ball. Everybody catch it. I'm going to toss it to you. Are any of you wearing gloves, by the way?
God, I am totally wearing fucking gloves.
Evie,
Pardon
you're
my
wearing
French.
gloves. Are the others wearing gloves?
Yeah, we grabbed gloves on the way from the basket.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Full gloves.
So she says, all right, gloves off, everyone, just for a minute, just
No,
to
thank
catch
you.
the ball.
No, thank you.
It's necessary for the game to get the proper circulation. You just have to, touch the rubber of the ball.
No, my hands are cold. My hands are very cold. I'm not taking the gloves off.
Okay, are they fingerless?
I can catch the ball without the gloves.
Oh, but this ball is
Don't
very
underestimate me, Amy.
I'll take my gloves off, but I still have my pillow.
Okay, so she tosses the ball to you, Evie.
I whack it out of the way with my pillow.
Okay, and she says, "Oh my! Hey, wait a minute. Where'd you get that? Oh, that's a very odd pillow."
Come a little closer, and we'll find out.
You guys are hilarious, she says, and she starts to walk off. But you can kind of tell she's not really amused.
I think she's on to us.
She picks up the ball, and as she's going in, let's see, who else was not in rec therapy? Edgar and Casey, his bridge partner. So Edgar and Casey are right there. And she comes up and says, hey, guys, catch the ball. Oh, take off the gloves. They both take off their gloves and go, that's weird. And then she tosses the ball, and they catch it, and then Edgar tosses it to Casey. They toss it back to her. And they say, what are we supposed to do when we catch it? And she's like, don't worry about it. Ugh, and walks off.
Could I grab Edgar and Casey and tell them to dip their hands in the water? Come feel this water, man. It's super warm.
Sure. They do. They come over and they touch the water, and they're like, okay. I was just going to come out and touch some grass, but I touched the water instead. Ha, ha, ha. That's Edgar. He's funny.
But no difference.
What's that?
No noticeable difference between before and after they touch the water.
No,
Okay.
just normal.
At least they washed off whatever was on them.
I
Yeah.
would like to make a proposition to the group is that we could go loot the room downstairs and find a nicer nursing home.
Can we carry all of that?
At this point, you do notice, let's see, just based off the time, you do see there does seem to be, not, you're standing in between the courtyard and the pool, and you notice around the corner, around over where the clinic is, but the outside corner of the building, there does seem to be somebody in the bushes, a shadowy figure, if you will.
I mosey on over.
Okay. As you get closer, are you all moseying or just Mabel?
I'm
I'm
ready in an
keeping a
action
good
to throw a
distance.
pillow.
What's
Oh,
that?
sorry.
You're keeping distance, Peaches? Is that what you said?
I'm following, but I'm keeping a nice distance just in case.
Okay. Let's see. Just as you're getting there and Mabel is getting very close and Peaches, you are still a little bit away, you get a slight whiff of a familiar scent that you recognize from the case that you smelled earlier.
Oh, that kind of whiff.
So I run really quickly. I grab Mabel and I pull her back and I say no.
Okay. As you do that, you see a large orc creature comes out from behind the corner and is like snarling and growling and advances on you. As he advances towards you, he reaches out and you can see clawed hands, which, not surprisingly, Evie, you recognize as something that could be the implement that would cause those injuries on Mickey's face. He reaches out, but you notice that he is specifically reaching for your hands and that he reaches out to try to, let's see, Mabel's closest. He tries to snag, as far, he tries to grab at your hand. Are you going to, do you tell me what you're going to do and we can draw for it or check for it?
I was like, how old am I? How quick are my reflexes? Can I just like evade? Or
I mean, you can try to evade, sure.
I'd like to try to evade.
Okay. You did get, interestingly enough, we drew the final ace, which means we reshuffle all the cards back together, but you did also get a face card diamond out of the two, so that's the better card, so we go with that. You got a success and a haughtiness point. So you were successful in both dodging, and as you dodged, you could tell that as he was grabbing, as you moved your hand, his claw specifically was trying to snag your the glove on your hand. It seemed like he was trying to take off your glove.
Huh. That's weird. I got 4 haughtiness points now, finally.
Okay.
By the way,
Would you like to start a rumor?
rumor has it. Yes. The heck did an orc get here? One of the orderlies is an orc.
All right. I just drew a new Trump suite for this, which is diamonds. And then I'm also drawing to see if your thing was true. But I won't tell you. Actually, I am going to reveal that as you say that, you notice that a badge falls out from behind his like shirt that is swinging there that says Green Oaks Orderly Level 1 intro, which is the assistant, basically. Yeah, orderly assistant, that he's a new hire.
Oh, that's nice.
And while he's distracted, can I jump from behind him and do a chokehold that puts him to sleep?
You can draw.
Because I am an assassin, I can do things like that.
Yeah.
I don't kill him, I just kind of knock him out.
And you did draw, you did get a face card, Trump Suite Diamond. So you were successful, and you get a haughtiness point. So you now have knocked him unconscious. And then as you're doing that, Miss Persephone comes outside, and she's like, what is all the noise out here? This is the worst day. she looks and she sees the orc there, and she's like, "What is Mork doing out here? I haven't seen him all day. I mean, he didn't speak a lot. You know, he mostly spoke Orcish, but I was excited to have somebody new on the staff because we really needed a fourth orderly. But yeah, he's not been working out too well. I don't even know why he's sleeping on the ground. Ugh. Yeah, I'll tell you what. The last 2 weeks have been the craziest hiring I've ever had to do. She kind of catches herself, realizing that she's complaining in front of residents, and says, "I'm sorry. That's not for you guys to worry about."
The calls are coming from inside the house.
How long has Miss Persephone been here again?
She's been here, let's say she started shortly after Mabel got here, so not quite 10 years.
Okay, but she's definitely been here a long time.
She's been here a long time.
Does she seem weirder than usual?
She seems frustrated and freaked out by she's got a pretty level head as well, and she's done not much surprises her. But as far as whenever residents, in your experience, whenever weird things happen to residents, she gets very upset, and she seems very protective of the residents.
So the orderly doesn't look like an orc anymore? It just looks
No,
like an
he's still
orderly?
an orc.
So we're just cool with orderlies.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Uh,
is diverse. I love it.
What did I find on him
She said
after
that
I
she
knocked
hired
out
him.
and
Yeah, she said that she hired him 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
I had enough contact with him and I did a quick search. Did I find anything on him?
Let's see. You found a cell phone with 2 numbers programmed into it. Neither have names.
Now I have a cell phone.
Yeah.
Burner phone.
Call some numbers.
Do you call him?
Phone home.
Is that what you said? Or did you
Yeah,
really
let's call some numbers. Let's see who answers.
Okay. Miss Persephone's kind of storming back into the building. As you guys are following her, you dial one of the numbers, and you hear over by the clinic some weird cell phone ring, and you do see Nurse Mumford answer, "What? Where are you?" You can hear him coming through the phone that you're holding.
Sorry, wrong number. And then I call the next number.
And with that one, you hear from the cafeteria, and you can see, guess who? Amy Zelinsky, the rec therapist, is in there with another, with another resident that we have not seen yet. He is a unnamed character, NPC is his name, and you can see that his gloves are, as you look over there, she looks at the phone irritated and hits a button, and on your phone that you're holding pops up a text that says, "Not right now," or "Call back in a minute." One of those automated responses. And then when you look out on the table, she is, the guy's gloves are on the table as if he just put them off, and she puts a napkin dispenser in front of him and says, "It's a fun game, just touch it." He does, nothing happens, and she goes like, "Ugh," and walks away.
So, Peaches. I almost called you Poppy.
Peaches, peaches, peaches.
Let's take your fork and go poke people with it and see when it turns to gold.
Okay, is that where you're walking around poking people?
Glad I never got into
We're old people,
cannibalism.
we do weird shit.
All right. As you walk around, you poke whoever walks by, and they go, "Ouch! Ah! Ah!" Nothing happens other than that, so far. Just a couple of different residents. Miss Persephone does come up and says, "What are you doing?"
It's a game.
Oh,
It's
you
fun.
two! I
Touch
don't
it.
need you three getting into it today. Please, if you could just play nice. I've had to file police reports on the attack. I don't know. We've had to just issues with the pool, let's say. And we just had all kinds of things that have been going on, and just had to send the orderlies down to the basement again. Ugh.
Um,
Johnny, fix that door.
We're just playing baked potato.
right. Can I
Yes.
take my gloves off and touch the fork?
Sure.
Anything
Nothing
happen?
happens. Nope,
Oh,
nothing happens. Yeah. You were wondering.
I was wondering.
Worth a shot.
Let's see. Okay. Are you just checking the time as we're getting close? Do we want to say, and I want to keep this kind of a one shot for everybody. So let's say that you can tell that Miss Persephone is rattled more than she usually is. She seems very worried. She is usually pretty tight lipped about things. She's very professional. But in this case, you feel like she is probably the most open to discussion that you've ever seen her before. So if you had any questions for her or wanted to get information from her, this is probably a good time to do
Let's
that.
get down to brass tacks. Who's got the gold tax?
Who's got the what?
What's with all the gold around here? What's with the base? What's in the basement?
What's in the basement? Well, just storage. We just store stuff down there, and we just take things down there if we need to just put it down there. She seems to be very flustered when you ask about that. And then she says, "I've got to. If you'll excuse me, I need to go into my office."
And then I
she,
grab her. Can I grab her? No, just kidding.
You can grab her, or you can follow her, whatever you would like to do. But she's gonna walk into her office unless you stop her, or you can go with her if you.
I'm gonna grab her arm like a crazy old senile woman.
Let's see, and then
And we look at her and we go, we know.
We know. We like you, Miss Persephone. Don't make us have to make us regret this.
she looks at you and she says, "Do you know what's been going on? Why have so many people who do you know what happened to Mickey? Do you know who broke down the door? Do you know any of that stuff? Is that what you know? Is that what you mean when you say you know?"
Well,
We know.
yeah.
Some of it.
I mean, you did hire an orc. What did you think was gonna happen?
Tell me
I
you
just
didn't know about the Minotaur.
And a minotaur.
the man. You guys met the Minotaur? He usually stays downstairs. He's been very reliable.
Can't say as much for the employees you've hired the last 2 weeks, though, can
I'll
we?
tell you what, the orderlies that have been here, Billy, Randall, and Brandon, they've been here forever. The Minotaur, he is just, I mean, the minute tis shift starts, he's just all business. And yeah, these last 2 weeks, I've hired these three. This nurse, I don't, he's just not working out. He doesn't seem to do any of the normal medical stuff. Today he wanted to look at all of the records in my office. He's already got all the medical records. He doesn't need all the records in my office of where people were before they came here.
Question. Going back,
Yes.
the orderlies that dunked Edith or whatever in the pool, are those ones that have only been here 2 weeks, or have they been here
No,
longer?
those are ones who've been here a while.
Okay.
So the ones who seem to have normal access to the basement, and the ones that were doing that seem to be the ones that have been here a while that she would know and seems to find trust with, sort of thing. At this point, let's say with her office door being open, you guys do notice that inside there is a picture. There is a picture of Zoe, the other bridge player, that is on the desk. And on that desk, you can see that she's standing there with three other women, one much older, and then two other women in the picture of her.
Does Zoe bear a familial resemblance to Miss Persephone?
No, Miss Persephone is not in the picture, and she doesn't really seem to, but she does bear a resemblance to the older woman in the picture.
Okay.
Miss Persephone's like, it does say she walks into her office, says, "I'm sorry, I'm leaving stuff all over the place. This is people's private information."
Maybe we should have Zoe touch the fork. Did we poke her with the fork?
You haven't poked her with the fork. She was at the bridge table, and you don't see her.
Dude,
I
guys,
will say this, as we're drawn up on time, I'm going to throw one little thing out there.
please.
As she's picking up the files, Miss Persephone is going to hold up the picture and say, "Oh, it was so sad. Zoe moved here after she lost her mother and she had these wonderful two roommates. One was a vivacious Southern lady, and one was sort of a ditzy Scandinavian woman."
Um, yeah, guys, there were specifically noticed a number of card decks there, so it does point to a potential bridge player being our Midas here.
Did you say that out loud?
Yes, I did. Well,
Okay.
I pulled them aside and I say, "Listen, guys,
Okay.
let's go poke Zoe."
You do know where Zoe's room is. She's only been here. Oh wait, did anyone ask that? Miss Persephone, by the way, when she said that, she said when she joined us 6 months ago, it was when she could no longer stay with her two other roommates. 6 months ago.
There's a link here, but I don't know what it is.
I know what it is. I need to start a rumor.
What's the rumor?
What's the rumor?
Yeah.
I think that the people besides the orc, I think that Amy and maybe the other guy are leprechauns, and that's why some of the gold stuff has been going missing.
Okay.
They do shrink. It is the season, I guess.
Okay. Good rumor. All right. Let's see. So, do you want to do a check to sort of draw things together, or do you want to go check on Zoe's room and poke her with the fork, or what are we doing next?
I like poking.
Okay. So you go to Zoe's room, and as you get to Zoe's room, you see Nurse Mumford and Amy Zielinski, and they are in the room with her. And Zielinski has the ball, and she's like, "Touch it! Take off the glove and touch it!" You notice at this point that Zoe's gloves are much thicker and of a different material. They're not the little tiny knit gloves that everybody else is wearing. She is refusing, and she says, "No, no, no. I've taken them off by accident enough times. It's hard to remember to keep them on."
Rude.
At this point, Amy turns to Mumford and says, "Get the case." And he says, "I don't have the case. That crazy old lady took it."
I love peaches.
All right. Mabel, what are you going to do?
Oh no. So um are there weapons nearby? Where are we again? I got excited.
You're just by Zoe's room.
Is there like a pea pan I can hit them with or something?
You want to draw for that? Let's see.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. You did get a face card of the Trump suite. And so, yes, let's say there is. You notice that there is a solid gold pea pan sitting on the side of the bed. And so I'll count your success for both. You whack them with that. Who do you hit first? Or do you, let's see. You whack Mumford in the side of the head, and he goes down. Zielinski turns and advances on you. Let's see. You do a check to hit her.
Yeah, let's do it.
And unfortunately, you have a not Trump Suite's face card, so that is a failure. If you grumble, you can draw again, or you can let someone else take a stab at it.
I'll let someone else take a stab at it.
Okay. Take a bother point. And let's see. Who's next after you is Peaches, usually. Peaches, what are you going to do?
I walk in and I say, "Looking for this," and I hit them both with a case, or at least whoever's standing.
Mumford's already down. So,
sorry.
Okay, so you're good at fighting, and you did get a suite. And so you hit Amy Zielinski. She goes down. All right. At this point, you hear a clattering down the hall. All of a sudden, the Minotaur security guard, the three orderlies, and Miss Persephone all come rushing into the room. Behind them is Johnny Filthy. You can overhear one of the orderlies telling him he's not needed here, and he's like, get out of here. As they get in, the Miss Persephone says, "Oh, I'm so grateful to you three. You've really saved the day. We were trying to keep it under wraps, but one of our new residents, Zoe here, is a direct descendant of Zoe Midas, the daughter of King Midas. And so, unfortunately, she has inherited a sporadic case of golden touch, and when it flares up, she must wear gloves. She doesn't always remember to put them on, or when a flare up is coming. So she's been turning things into gold without meaning to, and unfortunately, sometimes the residents, but fortunately, we've found a way to turn them back. And you three have unmasked our three newest employees. We're a criminal gang working together. They were working together. Fake Nurse Mumford, Amy Zelinsky, who has absorbed radiation from her childhood experiences of her father, who shrunk the kids, and Mork the Orc. I should have known there was a problem as soon as I hired him. He was walking around the cafeteria saying, "Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys." I had to get him to stop doing that. Anyway, these three criminals, you've apprehended them, and really, really grateful that you have. And so you have saved Green Oaks from the three criminals, and you have saved specifically Zoe Midas, so that she can help to continue to get the treatment that she needs. And so, as a reward, you each are able to take whichever items that you would like from the gold room downstairs. And you're given extra coupons for pudding in the cafeteria, which is already free to everyone. But, Miss Persephone couldn't think of a lot of things to do. Oh, yes, she lets you pick the TV shows in the day room for the next month as well. So,
Hey,
way to go, guys!
MST3K. Oh, sorry.
Way to go, guys! You have solved the Green Oaks Midas Touch case
team.
of the Midas Touch hand thieves. So, all right, guys, what'd you think?
This is cute.
Good times.
Kind of fun. It took a minute to for me to figure out a little bit of the dynamic with the cards and things. There are a couple of other things you can do if you have other roles, or draws, that I think would be better if this was an ongoing campaign. So there's a couple of other things. If you have certain failures, you're supposed to make up a sentence for your own obituary. There's also, you can have some words of wisdom if you have certain successes and things like that. But as it turned out, we had a compressed time for this today. So anyway, thank you guys for playing.
Thank you.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.